We hope you enjoy The Magicians, The Fugitive by Rachel Lawson. Edgar Blackstone is awake, said a policeman to the man in charge of the station. I will see him now, said the sergeant to the guard. Want me to bring him? Asked the guard. No, I'll go see him, said the sergeant. He might trust another magician with who he is more than a normal policeman. Okay, Sarg, said the guard. That's him, Sarg, said the guard to the sergeant in the guarded cells. Turn off that light, moaned the drunk magician. Oh my God, it's you, said the sergeant, shining a torch in the face of the last man he expected to see. You know him. Who is he? Asked the guard. Dr. Blake Alexander, my grandnephew, said Sergeant Raynard Alexander. Hi, Uncle. I don't feel, said Blake, who flew up on his uncle. The sergeant, reeling back, disgusted. Ew, said the shocked Ray. Thanks for that, Blake. Ray removed the sick with magic. Sorry, Uncle Ray, said Blake apologetically. Where have you been hiding? Asked Ray. I want my lawyer, said Blake. You have me, you don't need a lawyer, said Ray. I want my lawyer, said Blake. Why? Asked Ray. I won't speak without Aureus, said Blake. Okay, said Ray, leaving to get the lawyer. Later, Blake met his lawyer alone in an empty room. Blake, what happened? Asked Aureus. Argent told Fred Alexander he needed to talk to him at a restaurant and got me plastered, said Blake, who was secretly Fred. I thought he was up to something. That's all I remember. Aureus frowned. Sounds like him, said Aureus. What happened? Blake asked. You were caught flying under the influence on a broomstick in the Auburn Tunnel, said Aureus. The tunnel was part of a toll road. Why am I here then? Asked the blushing Blake. This is the only police station with a magician-proof cell. You were very rowdy when you were caught and drunk and giving a false name, Aureus said. There was a knock on the room's door. Come in, said Aureus. In walked Ray and a woman. The woman walked up to Blake and kissed him. Hello, Blake said. Hi, she said, smiling. Blake blushed again. Aureus knew how awkward his friend was. It had been 100 or so years, and the non-human Blake had remarried and become widowed since the last time they met like that. He was no longer Blake. He was Fred, the grandfather of Blake. He considered her his ex-wife. The scheming Argent knew who Blake was and why he had been in hiding as Blake. Blake was now Fred, the emperor of the universe. You all right, honey? Asked his wife. Yes, my angel, Blake said nervously. Have you talked to him? Asked Ray. Yes, said Aureus. Where have you been, Blake? Demanded his wife. Blake looked awkward and guilty. He said nervously. My client has been on a mission for, Fred the Emperor of the Universe, said Aureus awkwardly. Blake stood awkwardly, blinking nervously at his wife. Oh, what was it? Asked Ray suspiciously. What was it? Asked Blake's wife. Blake said. He can't say? Aureus said. He's acting like he's not saying something, said Ray. What is her name? Asked Blake's wife, thinking she was replaced. She's dead, said Aureus, forgetting Blake was a Grim Reaper. Dead? You cheated me for a ghost, growled the wife, who hadn't forgotten. Stammered Blake. She wasn't a ghost, she was his wife, he's a widower, said Aureus, realizing he was causing more trouble the more he spoke, so stopped speaking. Help? Was all Blake could say. His wife was on fire with rage. She wasn't human either. A Grim Reaper appeared out of thin air. You called? Was the Reaper said. The Reaper saw who was there and looked scared. What happened, Gramps? Asked the Reaper. Blake palmed his own face. I think I see what is going on here, said Ray, chuckling. What? Cried Angela. What's so funny? He was married. I was his best man, said Ray. Blake looked scared he was truly caught as Fred. Angela hit Blake and burst into tears. Angela, said Blake, trying to hug her to comfort her. She pushed him away. He forgot you, said Ray. She cried more. He's not your husband anymore, said Ray. Who is he? He's not my husband anymore, asked the crying woman. I can't understand how he can be him, Ray said. Who is he? Angela asked awkwardly, wondering who she kissed. I can hardly believe it myself. When Blake came back to clear himself of the murder he was accused of committing when your husband first disappeared, he said he had amnesia. Fred had amnesia too. He is a widower too, said Ray. So, said Angela. Blake looked like a trapped rabbit about to be killed. "He is my adopted brother," said Ray. "How can he be your adopted brother? You haven't got any adopted brothers," Angela said. Blake grimaced. "He does. Me," said Blake. "His parents adopted me as an adult." "Don't tell her," said the Reaper. "I have to, boy," said Blake. "Who are you?" asked Angela. "Sapphirus," Blake said. "No, you can't be," said Angela. Sapphirus was Fred's regal name. "Why didn't you say who you were?" "I couldn't. I didn't want to look like a dirty old uncle, even if I am not even related to you," said Blake nervously to the reincarnated granddaughter of his other adopted brother Robert, the King of Time. "Is your father your son or stepson, Fred?" asked Angela, hoping to find Blake was his father's stepfather. "Val is my son too, not my stepson," said Blake. Awkwardly, Angela grimaced, realizing she was her father-in-law's stepmom. "It gets me too," said Blake. The Reaper, one of Blake's and Angela's sons, squirmed thinking his granddad was his half-brother. "The necromancer looks like a dog is chewing on his leg bone," said Ray, chuckling. "Help!" cried the Reaper, the necromancer, King of Death, when Ray made a ravenous dog appear and bite his leg. "Quit it, Uncle Ray," said the necromancer. "You know I have a dog phobia. Go, or I'll sick the police on you," laughed Ray. The necromancer teleported away, leaving the dog. Ray made it disappear. "I know why you were hiding now. The Emperor can't be dead. You are half dead as a Reaper. You cannot be caught dead, or the universe will fall into chaos," Ray said. "I won't betray your secret, nor will I," said Blake's wife. "You better go too, so Fred can live. Blake can be a fugitive from the law again. Be careful you aren't caught again," said Ray. "Okay, thank you, Uncle Ray. Angel, see you around," said Fred, who disappeared like his son after hugging his wife one last time. "I always wondered where Fred came from," said Ray. "I wondered why Blake disappeared when he could come back to me. He has truly moved on," said Angela. "All I can do is let him go."
Turn off that light. Oh my God, it's you. You know him? Who is he? Dr. Blake Alexander, my grandnephew. What happened?
You were caught flying under the Broomstick in Auburn Tunnel.
Fugitive, a fugitive from myself, a fugitive from the world, a man on the run. Exile in the past. This exile is not my first or will be my last. I was lost in the past. With no memory, my life is a crazy place now. I remember who I was. I am caught. I have been caught dead by the police and my angry wife. Who I forgot. I was a missing man, a wanted man. Explain where I was or where I was hiding. My lawyer isn't helping me. Everything he says causes more trouble. He says I had a wife who is dead. I am a great old wife. My lawyer says I was a widower. My wife was alive when I knew her. I was scared and trapped. I called for help. Help it came. In the form of a son, he called me by my name. I was caught, my adopted brother from the past. The policeman who was hunting for me recognized me. He told my wife who I was. It was hard for her to take. I was my own grandfather. It was harder on me. To accept in truth. My adopted brother explained where I had been. My son was wanted by the police. My brother told my son to leave. The son fled. I was told to leave too, so I could live on in my new life. And I did. A fugitive.